All right, I just got out of Neurofeedback. On the way to Neurofeedback, I was very, thank you, just let me out. I was listening to one of my more recent audiobooks, The Holistic Psychologist. I think it's called Doing the Work. I think I'll have to look back and see exactly, but chapter on really like showing up for yourself and learning to trust yourself and know that you kind of are your own safe space, and that keeping promises to yourself and how important that is. And that really resonated with me, specifically in the realm of neurofeedback. Like last week I was only able to go once instead of twice because Andrew got a positive COVID test, which was exhausting, and just the, reaching out to people that I'd been around and trying to, then Liv is home from school, and, everything just, you have to sidestep and change and adapt and make sure everybody's okay and still take care of yourself. And so early on in my childhood, I was put in the role of caretaker. And so it was always, I basically just put on myself, and this was the vibe that I got, so I went with it, that I needed to be okay. There were other things, other issues, stuff that needed to be kind of triaged and taken care of, and everybody in survival mode all the time. And I was like, okay, I need to be fine. I need to not add on. I need to not be, I need to not cause anything. I need to be okay. Like, I have to be fine. I have to make sure everybody else is fine. I have to take care of everybody. And, not wanting to be a burden when something was going on with me to like add on to someone else's stress. So anyway, that realm of really like deep core belief about myself, that I need to be fine, and like self-sacrificing and not in a healthy way at all. So not putting what I need to the wayside, not constantly taking everybody else's stuff and trying to fix it for them, and you know what I mean, internalize it, having emotional boundaries and all these things that I'm working on, learning and showing up even when things are hard, when it's not perfect, because it never will be, right? Getting out of that perfectionistic mindset is huge for me. What I have to offer today is enough, one of those mantras. The only way out is through, so I'm going through, and it's hard, it's tough. Learning to talk to myself as I would talk to Olivia is huge. So today I felt, and listening, the awareness, feeling what I'm feeling, and going through stuff, right? Having anxiety around and just stress, learning now what is stress and how to cope with it physically, mentally, emotionally, and not attributing everything to I have generalized anxiety disorder. It's that I am going through things, I'm acknowledging them, I'm not suppressing them, I am putting in the work to show up for myself, to trust myself, to know that I will do what I need to do and not sacrifice what I need in order to attempt to meet someone else's needs, right? Does that make sense? So talking to myself in a way that I would talk to Olivia when she needs something, when she's struggling, when she needs anything. And I mean, I look at myself in the mirror, and sometimes I don't have the terminology, and to me that's when I go to music. I'm gonna sing something, and this may seem silly or trite or whatever, but it meant a lot to me. I put on from Frozen 2, Show Yourself, listen to the lyrics of that song and how it can mirror for me how I feel a lot of the time. So it's okay to be who you are, accept who you are, love yourself. You are who you've been waiting for. You have always been looking for your own acceptance, to not try to be hiding things, don't hide your anxiety. anxiety. Don't minimize how you're feeling. Don't show up for yourself. Show yourself who you are. You're resilient, you're courageous, you're brave. You can do this. Love yourself. Show yourself that you can do this. That you can do this like tough therapeutic work even when you'd rather like lay down, take a nap, and hide and pretend like you don't need to do it. Like you need to do it, and you deserve. You are worthy. You are enough. You are worth the time it takes to go do this. It's okay that it's never going to be perfect. No one ever is. This is a lifelong journey. Like, yes. So I sang that, and it made me cry, and I loved it, and it was beautiful. And I had a nice cathartic like release moment at the end of it where it felt like that was what I needed. And then I was able to like look at myself in the mirror and talk to little me. Like that inner child work is really important. That reparenting, things that I needed that I didn't get. That now knowing it's not just this like idea of what I was as a kid. It's being able to see my daughter, see my 3.5-year-old Olivia when she is scared, when she needs something, and she needs to be seen, she needs to be heard, she needs to be validated, she needs to understand that wherever she is, whatever she's feeling, whatever is going on, at her core, at who she is. I tell her all the time, I was like, Mommy is so proud of you just for who you are. I am proud of you for being who you are. Like her worth and her enoughness is not tied to any one thing. Success in anything. Ability in any way. Like who you are, your innate self, whoever you are, whatever you embody, like you are enough. I love you just for being yourself. I'm not proud of you only when you accomplish something, right? Like, so being able to have that visceral experience when I'm there supporting and loving on my daughter and helping her understand that like she is seen, she is heard, and then being able to then look at myself and see this amalgamation of who I was, this scared child who was struggling and didn't know how to get what I needed to feel safe. Like I am safe. I am here for myself. I can get where I need to be with having this, like I said, envisioning my daughter and like knowing how I respond to her and talk to her, and how crucial that has been in understanding my little child self that was very scared and not sure what to do and how to handle situations and feeling pressure to always be fine and be older than I was and to help everything and everyone. That's a lot for little shoulders to carry, and I didn't know what to do with it. So that's where all these like unhealthy mental coping mechanisms came into play to try to keep me safe, right? Like don't need to be hypervigilant all the time. And I hope that you don't hear this and think that it's to any fault of anyone. Everyone, everyone's parents, everybody in your life, like they are doing the best they can with whatever tools they have to work with at that moment, right? So it's not even that anybody let me down. It's everybody dealing with their own like traumatic pasts and inner child and reparenting work and all these things that no one person can give anybody what they need 100% of the time. Like it's not realistic, right? But we can set our children up for success to know that they foundationally are wonderful, beautiful human beings. And then situational things will come up and you can help them deal with like a choice or something that happened or whatever. But knowing that like it's that shame versus guilt situation. We don't need to feel shame because we know that we are good. We are not bad. A choice may have been something that we can have, there's guilt around, and then you talk through it and you work through it, right? But you innately are not bad. So, I mean, there's a lot obviously to unpack there, but knowing that I'm showing up for myself, that I'm giving what I have today to myself, not bleeding myself dry, trying to take care of everyone else. It's not, that helps no one, right? Really proud of myself for showing up for me. As far as the neurofeedback is concerned, today was good. There were moments watching the episode of The Jetsons where I felt myself kind of get into my head a little bit and then realized in that moment awareness again that I've been talking about, like that's so huge, that, I feel like I'm kind of starting to get in my head. I would work on like my physical being, trying to calm and re-center that. So then I was able to take a deep breath and remind myself, your brain is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Your brain is learning. You're smart. You're confident. You're strong. You got this. Just let go. Release, surrender, and then it would help me get back to the moment. And we're on the downward trajectory, which is great, of where it needs to be as far as like forward progression with the neurofeedback. So my brain is learning that downward trajectory shows that my brain is learning the new calmer, centered, present neural pathways are being forged, and reteaching myself that every time to make them the go-to, as opposed to those really deep-rooted anxiety ones that have been for the rest of, all the previous parts of my life. So, feeling good, feeling proud of myself. I had a moment like the elevator taking me up to the third floor had its mirrors all around, and I always make sure I look at myself, I smile, and at the end after a session, I look at myself and I say, I'm really proud of you. I love you just like you are. And then I do my power pose, strike my Superwoman power pose to help those endorphins and oxytocin and dopamine and all those good, feel-good hormones that come from changing your physiology in a positive way. Like I let that seep in and like continue that positive reinforcement of what I'm doing for myself and how it's going to have that ripple effect and benefit everybody else in my life. So, yeah, feeling good. Did my affirmations before I went in, after I had my cathartic moment with Show Yourself with Frozen. I'm strong, I'm kind, I'm smart. And I had a little conversation with my inner child, looking at myself, because I was like in that headspace after singing that song, and I really have been putting my hand on my chest a lot recently, just to have that centered heart, love, connection feeling, not feel that dissociation, disconnection with myself, like this really helps ground me and bring me back. And I looked at myself and I said, I see you. I see all of the parts of you. I see the trichotillomania, the patchy eyelashes and eyebrows. I see the pain and the fear of not being enough, of being inadequate, of questioning sexuality as a child and how much that scarred and screwed with you, and you didn't know what to do with that. And how Catholicism very much, the people of Catholicism, not the establishment in general, but the flawed human beings that we all are, and how that message got trickled down to me that I innately somehow was bad, and that's where that shame came from. All of these things, I told myself, looking in the mirror today, right after I sang that song, that I see all of those parts, and I love myself. I love you. I love who you are at your core. I see all parts of you. I hear you. I love you. You are safe. And that was so profound for me, that reparenting element where I now, as a parent of Olivia, am able to see my younger self and how hard all of that was. And little Louise felt like she had to deal with so much and take it all on herself and somehow deal with it. So, a lot. Yeah, I go back tomorrow, so I'll do another session tomorrow. Positive forward progression.